box today.
We're going to have a look. Let's just have a look here to see what happened to Charlie Kimball. It looks like he was starting to turn, and then something happened. The car went directly left. I mean, it didn't look like it was something that Charlie did. Let's watch this again. He was actually just on the backside of Hawksworth. Looked like he had enough room to get through the turn, and it looked like the car just made an immediate left. Let's watch here, riding along. Oh, nope, the car just went straight because he carried too much speed going into the turn. Hawksworth was a little slower than he...
Here we go with 28 laps to go.
Oh, it's accordion, it's accordion. What's going on? I have never seen... You know what? That falls on willpower. That is a ridiculous speed to bring the field down for the start. And so as soon as he starts to accelerate, he's got to start moving the car. He's got to start going. And this is a single file restart. Everybody's expecting him to accelerate. He's slowing down by the time he gets up to the first cone zone.
But now let me just play a slight devil's advocate here with you. He hadn't reached that first acceleration zone line yet when things started bottling up behind him.
But at this point in time, this is exactly, if we watched it, it looks like he's starting to slow down just a little bit. You need to continue to increase the speed.
All right, so just by way of...
And we have an incident. That's Joseph Newgarden in the number 67 car who has just nosed into the tires. He was doing so well in P1, top of the times.
And this brings out our first yellow of the day, being hunted down by James Hinchcliffe.
Yeah, no real big lockup there. It's just like he carried too much speed in and just missed the line.
Well, he was nursing the brake pedal, because if he stands on it, he's going to go straight on, and he knows he can't make the corner with the front grip he's got available. So hard to do that. He's pushing hard.
Well, this was the lap that he was going to have to make in the out lap in the traffic with Hunter Ray. He was pushing to the limit. And
in the offseason, this is what happened to Justin Wilson as we're on board with Graham Rahal.
You see Graham giving him a little bit of a nose there.
He gave him some more
and
nose
gave
right
more
there.
Nose right there. That, you know, I know Bo Barfield asked for a little more contact, and here's contact of a different sort. Simon Pagenaud in the tires at turn 6.
And that's a problem. That banner wrapped up in your front tires is not good. It will block off all the braking, all the inlet for the brakes. That flapping around will beat the front wing. The wing is braking now.
Sounds like a guy with a lot of experience.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done that a few times. I've had the team say, "Come in, we need to change the wing," and I'd say, "No, I'm staying out."
Here's the reason he's backwards.
Chrome horn. Just sent him.
Now that one's a little more interesting. I was just saying that Bo Barfield has made it a point this year to say, "Hey guys, side-by-side racing, a little bit of rubbing, that's okay." But man, I don't know if Pagenaud had any idea that Power's nose was in there.
This is what it looked like from the Verizon Chevy.
Looks like something I would have done back in the day in that team.
Not quite close enough. Simon Pagenaud has limped his way back around to the pit.
Let's see what happened here to Sebastian Bourdais. Man, another situation with the front brakes fully locked up. It's almost like the rear brakes weren't working at all there.
Yeah, it's fully locked in the front. Steering wheel turned, and you can see he let go of the wheel there pretty hard.
Well, he let go, but he also threw his hands up as if, you know, man, something's not working.
Wow.
How about that? But can he maintain it? Now they're going to be all over him. This is going to be the lap of Joseph Newgarden's life.
You got the first 3 guys on the harder black tires. Willpower on warm soft reds. Hunter Ray to the inside.
Oh! 3 of them get taken out.
Oh!
Can you believe what you've just seen?
Castro Neves contact. Newgarden, Hinch, there goes Sato. They're plowing in. The track is blocked.
Nightmare.
This is a nightmare. The track is almost blocked.
Track is completely blocked. Stay in your car. Stay bolted in if you're okay.
My goodness. Here goes Ryan Hunter-Ray on the inside.
He knew he was there. He knew that Ryan was looking.
In fairness to Ryan, he knows that Newgarden's got cold tires, right?
Yeah.
So he's got 1 lap of heat in the tires.
Right, and
here comes Sato.
Oh,
yeah, Joseph knew he was coming and faded him, and it squeezed him. But Ryan, you know, he had the knife between his teeth. He was going no matter what.
Wow. And Will Power and Mike Conway said thank you very much as they just skipped on through. That was a big impact on Joseph.
Now there's going to be some guys here that go into podium contention.
Power
you got Conway's going to be P2. Montoya, I think, is going to end up 4th on this next restart once we get all this cleaned up. You've got Munoz, is going to be third, I believe.
And Montoya got through there as well.
Well, that's, yeah. I think
right
Montoya's going to restart fourth. We're going to see another Colombian battle, I believe. Let's see here. There's Montoya. Oh, that's Huertas.
That's Huertas.
You're going to have Colombian third, fourth, and fifth on the restart.
Now, right here, he's squeezing him, and then he stuffs it in and gets him right in the back wheel.
You know, when I look at it from that view, PT, I can see why Hunter Ray thought that was his chance.
Pretty smart driving there by Will. He saw all that happening.
Stay right.
And up front, Justin Wilson putting the pressure on Scott Dixon. Now, importantly, we must note these two guys at the front, Dixon and Wilson, who are duking it out. Oh, they hit! Wilson's over and out.
And his suspension's bent. That's him done.
Justin Wilson is done for the day. Happened on the restart lap between Scott Dixon on the left and Justin Wilson on the right.
And I don't even think Dixon even knew he was there. You could see his head was turned to the right. He was looking for the corner. You would never think a guy would be out there because your line of sight is looking for the corner.
Absolutely no way to pass on the outside of that corner.
And this is what happened to Marco Andretti. Look at the yellow and blue car coming to an opportunistic move on the inside and collides with Mikhail Aloshin.
And that really hurts Serbia as well.
Oh!
Graham Rahal, and we said he was going to be elevated to 6th. What happened to the National Guard man?
Well, somebody hit him. I'm not quite sure who would have been directly behind him. Was it Justin? No, it wasn't Wilson.
It was Mikhail Aloshin.
Practice for the IndyCars. We've already had one incident, not an incident really, just a quick on and off. That was Sebastian Bourdais. Graham Rahal may have an issue.
Turn 12 is a very, very fast corner. It's a 5th gear corner. You're carrying a huge amount of speed into it. When Graham got up on that curb to help rotate his car, it looked like the car kind of kept rotating a little bit, and as it landed from the curb, it then kept rotating again, which meant he was then unable to turn right into turn 30. Sebastian Bourdais slid off in the turn 8 and 9 area. He's not having a good session this morning. This is the second time we have seen Sebastian Bourdais in the gravel.
Just listen. Folks, that's with a microphone that's... Here, let's listen again. And there's a sign of crash experience, taking your hands off the wheel, and all you can do.
To Takuma Sato, right in the middle there, coming through the turn. Oh, there goes Munoz,
yeah, Sato
and
was
that's Montoya.
Montoya was avoiding, and then
at the back
almost
of it.
exactly the same thing, Sato.
Coming into the hairpin. He just overcooks it on entry. Understeers off the corner. Now he's thinking, I'm going to lose the lead. I'm trying to stay on it. Then he's got to get out of it because he's going to get the tire wall.
I'll tell you what, he got lucky twice.
Turn 5, it's a hot spot at this track. What happened?
And Aloshin's just kind of holding his line. Bourdais gets in deep and just gets up into the back of him there. Now Bourdais going to give him a hand signal like goodbye, and Aloshin's going to keep rolling backwards and try to see if he can just give him.
Oh, was there contact with Bourdais?
He may have gotten some help on that one.
He was awfully close to Bourdais' nose there, who already gave a little.
Way up there.
No, I think he just lost
it by himself.
Yeah, I don't think Bourdais got into him on that one.
Wow. Kelly, what do you have?
Oh. Now, luckily, he's hitting what is supposed to be collapsible, soft, malleable material with what looks like the mattress I had in college that they've got there on the wall. But
oh, the pole sitter doesn't get going. Oh!
There is not a worse place to stall than at the start of a race. I hope they're okay.
Visor is up, telling everybody that he's okay. Steering wheel is coming off. Talked about the pressure of sitting on the front row here at Indianapolis. Car on your left-hand side will not get off the grid.
He didn't even move.
Saavedra. Everybody else is starting to go around him. Now the car coming from the back doesn't see him. And that first car that hits him is Carlos Munoz. And then from then on, the debris is flying.
I think Montoya just stalled back there too.
Could be. There could be a problem starting the...
Charlie Kimball, I think, on the right-hand side, also just a slow start. Oh, he just about got through, but... And it all happens so very fast because there is spotters here for these drivers to tell them what's going on. But at that short time span, Eddie, it's just about impossible.
Hunter Ray did an exceptional job missing him.
And that's,
Munoz is the one that decided to change lane from the right to left.
yes.
And when he did that, he blocked the view of the cars behind him, and they found themselves with a stopped car in the middle.
And that's a very unsettling feeling when you're sitting in there knowing that all the other cars are going to rush past you. At this time, he would be looking in his mirrors, watching the cars going either side, and then hopefully he was not going to get struck, and that's certainly what happened.
I was involved in a start like this at the Canadian Grand Prix once, and it had tragic consequences.
I was there watching on the front stretch.
Clear. They'll go to the right. Inside. Full course yellow.
I am a great admirer.
Coming back at him.
Yep.
Coming back at him. Here we go.
Look out, Dixon's around, and is he into the gravel? Yes.
Could see that one coming. He wasn't going to take it.
That might be a full course yellow.
Regardless, the car that's coming from the back, which is Dixon's target machine, going up against Will Power, he's about beside him. And so should Will Power have given him some more room to allow the two to go through the turn side by side? We are hearing a bit of that in the drivers' meeting this morning. But really, Dixon was losing control of his car. The wheels were locked up because he started to turn in, started to unload. That right front tire started to lock. So just looks like everybody. Martin Plowman, the number 41 car, the AJ Foyt car, up and over. Oh my goodness, that's why the wing is off.
They were both very lucky.
Wow. It just looked like the back end of the car just swapped around. Now he sees a car on the inside. He realizes that he's going too fast and he's not going to make it, so he bails out, tries to go to the left-hand side to avoid, but obviously not a lot of grip over there on the back side of that curbing. And Marco's probably sitting in the car going, I can't believe what I'm seeing here.
I think they might have to rethink those curbs a little bit for next time. It's a little bit too easy to go down there and then you get launched.
Well, then you know, when you're at the back, Eddie, you know how it is sometimes. Everybody's braking ahead of you and you think you're going to be able to.
So Ryan Hunter-Ray, Justin Wilson, Carlos Huertas, James Hinchcliffe, Elio Castroneves, the first five. Remember how wild these couple of restarts we've seen today have been. Oh, trouble, contact.
And there'll be another yellow.
You see those orange markers on the outside? That's the acceleration zone where the leader's supposed to begin to accelerate.
Just have them accelerate as they come out of the corner.
Well, as I understand it, the object is to try and get the field straight on the straightaway before you begin to accelerate up to speed, rather than having cars still charging out of that corner at top speed.
Look at that. That's such a wasted bunch of race cars. That just doesn't need to happen.
Riding along now with Graham Rahal, National Guard team.
Ready, set. Ready, set. Green, green, green.
Yep, he's a victim.
That was Montoya jumping the start.
Backstretch they go. Oh, crash, crash. Turn two, we got a crash. Kurt Busch made contact with the wall. Tire bouncing down the backstretch. Crash, turn 2, coming up out of the dash. Kurt Busch, replay. Boy, that was a hit. That was a hit. And again, he climbed out of the car. He's okay. Great job by the other drivers getting around to the flying debris. They're running about 224 miles an hour in a pack of cars. And the good news, he's out of the car. He's okay.
You get a little bit lower than him, and then you know, he got a little bit lower too. Then once the air was off my wing, I had so much wheel put in, and then once I got high again and the air hit the wing, it went way loose. And I mean, it was a heck of a save. I mean, that should have been a lot bigger than it actually was. I mean, there's like minimal damage, very little, but no, I mean, just the biggest save of my career right there. But I'd rather learn it now than on Sunday.
Top of the screen, you'll see the car come into play. He's just a little high on the line, goes around, gets so lucky because it doesn't really slap the wall too hard. Lucky again that nobody hits him. That's coming out of turn 2. And now he tries to straighten the car. He lets his foot off the brake a little bit to get control. The momentum brings the back end around still. Been through that many times. You're just sort of riding along as a passenger. Not a whole lot you can do.
He was very lucky because in the break he had another moment just like that turning in.
Saw him smart.
Clear. You're clear behind you.
Clear.
Smartly take his hands off the wheel when he went.
Scott Dixon talked about taking downforce off the car. Would it be unmanageable? There's the answer. The former winner into the wall hard.
And there he is already in the middle of the turn of turn 4. The car has already come around from him, so that means one of two things. The car was very loose where the back end wants to come around on you. It had already swapped ends, or something broke on the car and then the car swapped around on him. We'll have to get a report from him.
He was sideways very, very early on. And nobody seemed to have hit any of those big pieces of debris, which is great. That's a very strange spin.
In what way?
Just way so early. Normally that doesn't happen. He started spinning as he turned into turn 4.
On board Helio Castroneves, who was right behind Dixon.
See, just the car starts to come around on him right mid-turn.
Yellow.
He just got really light in the back. That wing, those wing changes are so tricky. It's always a guess as to how much you can take out. And then so often, if even a team like Ganassi cannot get it right, it just...
Now Joseph Newgarden seems to be coming out in a normal line. And that looks like Martin Plowman's not slowing down for the accident.
Hinchcliffe had contact with Carpenter.
Behind you. All behind you here. Yellow's out.
You could tell 3 wide going into 1 was not going to work.
3 wide around here in an Indy car does not work ever.
Check that Townsend Bell. And into turn 1 it went wrong.
And amazingly, Townsend Bell made it through.
When the spotters will be telling him somebody's high, somebody's
outside, outside, inside, out. Hang on, bud, hang on.
See now with Ed Spotter, we told him that he was on the outside. Last minute, Hinchcliffe came on the inside. But as a driver, you also feel what's going on. Now we ride along with Helio Castroneves. You can see all the cars fan out, and to the surprise, there goes Hinchcliffe.
Clear.
A little bit bold.
Go high.
And Helio makes the right decision to go to the bottom. But the one who really put the pressure on the 2 inside cars was Townsend Bell, that had just a half a foot advantage to press them down on the lower part of the track, and then they touched.
And on the onboard look we had from Castroneves' car, I believe it was, we actually saw Townsend Bell and Carpenter make the slightest bit of contact before Carpenter and Hinchcliffe bounced off each other.
And that forced Carpenter down just enough to connect with Hinchcliffe. And in one fell swoop, Townsend Bell how do you say this? Removed 2 competitors that were behind him. It was a great move.
Better than 1 and 2.
Caution, crash. There was debris in turn 2, now a crash. That's Townsend Bell.
Turn 4 is hungry today.
So we're going to see him come into frame to the right-hand side as we did. Something goes on with the car, guys, I think, mid-turn, Eddie, because that thing is gone. Now, we heard debris. Did he run over the debris? Did a tire get flat? We don't know.
At the end of these races, when you have accidents and they try to pick up the debris, it's impossible to get it all in. It takes so very little to cut a tire.
Well, the debris, I think, possibly that they talked about might have been ahead of where he had the accident.
Yep.
Right along with Juan Pablo Montoya just up ahead. Oh, that thing snaps. That's almost like what happened to Kurt Busch the other day.
Something went wrong.
Back.
And we've got Justin Wilson sideways on the racetrack. Rise to number 2, Juan Montoya comes around him. So we've got right now local yellows.
Now setting up for turn number 4, a right-hander, and goes in. Whoops. Okay, there it goes sideways.
Oh, he did hit.
He did hit the wall.
Everybody fighting for position. Now, obviously, Will spun the tires coming out of the turn, so now he's off the normal line that he should be. And then a look for Simon, and actually Will just starts to come over. Should have thought that somebody was on the outside of him simply from the fact he was in the middle of the road.
But we don't have spotters here, so the only way he would know is by looking in his mirrors.
But when you're defending, we're riding on board right now with Marco Andretti's Snapple machine. Now just watch this, just enough to move him offline. Sends him off a little bit. I suspect that Will probably didn't know him there. Probably just thought that he would get out of the throttle so he wouldn't have a run on him going down the straightaway. And look what the left front is now.
But another issue he had Marco Andretti.
Watch, he'll be right behind the blue and white car.
Oh, he's offline already on the way in. Yeah. So either something caused him to be offline with something mechanical on the car, or he just got too hot into the braking. But turn 12 is a high-speed right-hand turn. Enter in there at about 130 miles an hour.
Watch his steering wheel as he hits the wall.
That's called understeer, and he took his hands off the wheel to save himself from getting his hands caught in the
Sorry guys, what's going on?
Graham Rahall's in, Rick.
Bobby Rahal,
yellow
has the car, and we've got a spin on the track right now.
7 car Mikhail Aloshin is turned around, exit turn 7, 4th caution flag of the race. And please get me back in, I want to get going. You can understand the frustration.
Winding down the backstretch. He's going to take the opportunity because there's a car passing Aloshin, so he thinks I can get through there at the same time. Goes up and over the curb, maybe a little bit ambitious. Here we go, we're going to look at it from the tall camera now.
Hinchcliffe got out of the way. Over the curb. So Hinchcliffe gave him a lot of room. He went all the way outside of the track, and Aloshin turned in and clipped his right rear tire.
Rivals for the championship. Here's what happened to him in turn 7 last lap.
Underneath his teammate Marco Andretti, sees he just gets in it just a little bit too hard, a little bit too hot, loses control and slides into the barrier. Not something that he wanted to finish his day off with.
Hunter-Reay already has a problem here this morning on the second day in Detroit.
He just got loose coming out of the corner and really whacked the wall hard today with the outside rear of his car. 2 days in a row.
Been hard on that left rear this weekend, just like yesterday. I just snapped out.
Look at this from up in place.
And
Will Power up the inside. Contact with Newgarden. Graham Rahal is collected.
Well, there goes that.
Gosh, will Joseph Newgarden ever get any luck?
Justin Wilson there, yeah.
Grammy's still running.
Everybody going for the same piece of real estate. Will Power, as you mentioned, on the inside, trying to get some movement there. Comes in just a little touch of the wheels with Joseph Newgarden, sends him sideways. So for Will Power, very aggressive move. He didn't pay the price.
And the other 3 cars did. 4 cars did.
You can see Will Power Sliding on the inside, trying to pass quite a few cars, but there's not room for him when he gets there. Looks like he probably could have run a bit of a tighter line, guys, to be honest with you.
Caught that curb. Here's Graham Rahal's view.
So he's getting a good run here, turns in, expects to be okay, and then in front of him, he's got nowhere to go.
So Will just moved Newgarden.
You can see he's coming out of the turn and just catches the barrier on the left-hand side.
But with his front tire, that's the first time we've seen somebody do that. Normally they come out sliding and hit it with the rear.
So that means the front end was not turning for him. You can see he's going in, drives it in very hard. Looks like he's got the apex correct, but he just miscalculated the entry. And so he got, or either he got in the gas eddy, I think is what really happened because he was so close. Remember, tires are cold, not much grip. What happens here?
Oh, that's Ryan Briscoe.
Sato was just a passenger in that. He was very lucky.
And you know how frustrating that is. Now we're riding along with Ryan Briscoe. Tries to fit in the middle. I'm not sure that was really going to work too well.
That was not a good move.
Now let's watch with Bourdais. He's on the throttle. Coming up to 5. Oh, loses the front end and just catches the tire barrier.
Wow. That was a hard hit.
Yeah, it was. And you got to get your hands away from the steering wheel there. It's not the one you really want to go. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, he might have got some help.
Oh, yeah.
He did. He was offline getting through the turn.
180 and pancake the fence. On board. Oh, that was
up there in front of you. Just stay low, stay low, stay low. Get through there.
And collected Sebastian Bourdais. He's down low and it just gets away.
Hard to tell whether they had contact and just, you know, touched each other in the corner.
It almost looked like Wilson got squeezed down below the white line and lost it. If we can go back to the previous replay, and we can see Wilson really low inside of Bourdais. And we've got another angle here, but that's later in the incident. I think the first angle probably is the most illustrative.
That was from on board with Tony Kanaan. You saw the two up ahead of him, but
wow, there is a slow motion. Will Power just tried to cut one of those curves, threw the front end of the car in the air, so no front end braking while it's up in the air, and he narrowly avoided getting the wall.
Oh,
and
contact.
Graham Rahal just got Dixon and got him good, nailed him in the rear of the car. Rahal got into the left side attenuator, that's behind the left rear wheel. And we've got one quick spin out on the track, and that will be our rookie Mikhail Illusion, and he is right in the middle of the lane. Let's see if everybody else can get past him. Over in turn 4, and he's under power, going to try to spin it around.
We see Tony Kanaan with an issue on the track.
Yeah, he took a quick spin on that switchback, turn 1 and 2, and is sitting up on the curb. Red flag once again.
Illusion again.
Over in turn 4, a quick spin. He gets it corrected, gets it back out, and off he goes. He's getting good at that. And we have the same problem for Hawksworth, who is against the wall with some pretty heavy damage.
Wow.
And he did pretty much what Will Power did. Got that left side, jumped up. I'm telling you, all but one tire off of the ground, and maybe all 4. He got it turned to the right.
Oh, and Takuma Sato in a little trouble there, 3 wide through that first turn. Oh, and that's his teammate. That's Carlos Munoz coming into contact with Marco Andretti.
Illusion's got a problem again. This time he's left some parts behind on the racetrack.
Conway, he missed the turn, got into the tire barrier.
Don't think Sato wants to race with Illusion.
Oh! Big crash with Sato. Sato is running alongside of Illusion.
Sato is shaking his wrist. Coming to the restart, you see Hinchcliffe gets it sideways as he gets on the gas, but still gets a good start.
It's been waiting. Oh! And that's Luca Filippi. Luca Filippi in the National Guard entry. His day is done. Oh, it's Dixon. Ooh. Just slams into the wall. Oh, and there's the damage on Pagenaud. And then coming across the track, Kimball was just an innocent bystander.
Yeah.
The yellow flag's back out
here.
Will
Power's day just went from bad to worse. He lost it and did a full 180. That got him into the tire barrier. brought the car then all the way around. Saavedra looks like he just got pushed and turned around.
With 4 minutes left, are we seeing this race finishing under yellow and Carlos Huertas winning?
The yellow lights are still on. We'll see if the pace car pulls off.
Oh, and Rahal just ran right into the back of Tony Kanaan.
It's going to take some defensive ground, and they nearly hit.
They touched.
Munoz way out of shape and smashes the wall on the outside of the final turn 10.
Look how bumpy it is. There's contact.
Now Bourdais and Helio Castroneves get together. Bourdais continues on.
Andretti on the inside of Wilson, can't quite do it.
Oh, they touched.
And another car against the wall, and this time it is Takuma Sato.
Normally when you're at speed, it doesn't make that much of a difference, but when you start to trim, you can really feel it. We talked about how these guys said they weren't going to trim that much, but to me, it looked like Jack just got a wiggle going over the bump. Then the car started to take off towards the gray. He added more steering to the front, and then as the front grip, the back of the car just snapped around and popped him into the wall. But it looks like they're getting Jack out with no trouble at all. Tough break, that one, but it's something I saw happen here several times last year.
Now Joseph Newgarden that is on the track. Newgarden's got the wall. He got it coming off of turn 2.
That car has come to a stop with the driver pointed towards the wall. It's right in the middle of the track.
Mark.
Graham.
Dear.
And there it is. We just
have a yellow.
Yep, yellow out of the course.
And that is Graham Rahal.
Made contact at the exit of turn 2, that National Guard machine. Graham Rahal up against the outside wall on lap 158.
It has the lead, and we've got an incident already. It's in turn 4. Mark, did you catch an eye on it?
Yep, we see the number 14 machine of Takuma Sato and the number 7 machine of Mikhail Ololoshin. A contact between those two coming to the apex of turn number 4.
Montoya places his car to the left and rear of Carpenter. Now Montoya goes down to the inside. Oh, they're close. Montoya goes for the wall. Montoya catches the wall between 3 and 4. He tried to make his move, got down low, and then touched, and they were up to the wall.
And that was contact between Juan Montoya and Ed Carpenter. I don't know if Ed spotted, didn't tell him was there, didn't call it, or maybe Juan tried to get in too late, but that was definitely contact between those two cars.
Montoya's run has come to an end. He's touched the wall. He appears to be the only... No, isn't it? He's still running it. Oh! And he gets the wall. Simon Pagenaud gets the wall. Quick little twist, but I wonder if he got a time in, because he did it right at the time line. Simon Pagenaud, with the accident at the end, still runs a quick lap at a 59.3. That's good enough. Oh, and we have a spin, and it's Simon Pagenaud spins it right in the middle of that front group, and there is contact.
Luca Filippi's National Guard car, that was what started the contact. Joseph Newgarden, another car that sustained heavy damage in that replay. The rest of the field has actually had to stop behind there because the track has been blocked by that incident.
And because of that, they have brought out the red flag. Was all over the brakes coming into turn 1. Now are we seeing some slowing there? He got
right on a ray to the high side of Tony Kanaan. That outside retaining wall's there to greet him. He hit Kanaan bang wheels. Right into the outside retaining wall. Joseph Newgarden went to the inside on Will Power. He locks him up, overshoots the turn, and then as he got onto the runoff area, he hit a piece of the outside retaining wall.
Montoya's into the barrier, and Bourdais comes down there too. Mark, are you? Oh, and Alosian comes in and drives literally underneath the back end of Montoya.
Montoya has gone across the concrete patch, attempted to make the corner, and the car's just slid on the concrete. That's even slicker than the asphalt he just came off. Boom, straight into the wall.
Montoya's car on the wrecker. They've lifted it up. Montoya is still in the cockpit of that car.
Michael Alosian is now out of his car.
Newgarden goes for drives. No. He spins. He spun. He came. It looked like he was going to go for pit road. He came off of the turn, then spun it as they come onto the pit straight. Enter the pits.
Turn 9 and 8 area of the racetrack, Carlos Huertas has had a spin. He's sitting, and he's got the car under fire.
The field came around. Power gets around Newgarden. Charlie Kimball, Carlos Huertas. We have a full-scale traffic jam here. Cars trying to get to the high side, the low side.
They put out the red flag.
I think they're...
Pagno just went off into one of the gravel pits.
And it looks like he just locked up on the entry into the S's. It's such a fast corner where you're trying to carry a bundle of speed, and it dips downhill slightly as you're going on the way into it. Turns in, carrying a little bit too much speed, actually got sideways, then hopped on the brakes because he realized he wasn't going to make the corner, and that's when he locked up. Brian Briscoe in the NTT data car, he's had a spin. Oh, that's James Hinchcliffe.
Now we also have Hinchcliffe off. And we got Sato spun on the course. That's not a good position.
Tony Kanaan tries to get to the inside of Newgarden and he spins. Tony Kanaan gets spun around and gets off in the dirt. Several cars working hard to try to avoid Tony Kanaan. We have a local caution in turn number 4.
Haven't had a full course caution for 2 years here, longer than that. And on the very first lap, very first turn, we go to full course caution. Tony Kanaan, Marco Andretti, their cars are sitting on the racetrack. A great deal of debris around those cars. Hunter Ray sits at this moment at the edge of the racetrack.
Rear end of the car just stepped out, let go, and great job by Juan Montoya to avoid the spinning car of Hunter Ray and not collect it.
Over in turn 2, is that Hinchcliffe? There is a lot of damage at the back end of Hinchcliffe's car, sitting up by the wall in turn 2.
He literally found, if anything at all, the vaguest patch of clean air, and that was enough to just pin the inside front wing down. Rear end came around. Hinch is really struggling out there, really struggled to get the car slowed up on the brakes down into the turn 8 hairpin that time as well. He is not happy with the handling of that United Fiber and Data car slick track.
But they're going to bunch up behind, and there's the first problem.
Wow, that's a big pile up, almost a track blockage there. Will really got the jump on the start.
How much Newgarden was able to kind of hold back and to slot himself in. It really looks like there was some contact between Bourdais and Briscoe right there getting going. Elio with a lot of damage getting spun around there. There were so many things going on. That's a corner where you go from being able to about 3 or 4 wide to all the way down to 1.
Yeah, and really you almost got to start braking at the bridge as you go up the hill. Everybody's rushing up there, trying to get a spot. Briscoe's off there in the grass with Bourdais. Everybody's trying to make a position or two. Here's Helio Castroneves. You can see he's on the brakes. Somebody touches him. and then he's into the back of another car sideways. Another car's into him, so just a total melee.
I think it's Sebastian Bourdais in his black and green car that comes up the inside, loses it a little bit. This is on board with James Hinchcliffe. The problem really kind of goes on behind him, but he gets hit.
He got clobbered from behind.
And there, I believe,
Castroneves got into the side of him and got
that's what happened to his front wing. Last angle.
Pretty big hit for Castroneves on the front suspension, so be surprised if that hasn't damaged a toe link or something on the car where he was started. But you can see here he just kind of picked his way all the way through this whole thing. Here I come, I'm coming through. So pretty slick driving there. It's tough to find your way through a hole.
Right, do Hunter Ray making a nice pass there. Newgarden using his black tires, getting that out of the way.
Simon Pagenaud had gotten inside Juan Montoya, and now contact. It looks like Sebastian Saavedra, and let's see if we can figure out exactly what happens here. Saavedra in the red and yellow car to the top of the screen, and then Bourdais in the middle.
Yeah, it looks like Bourdais just got a little bit shoved out wide, and he got into his teammate by Castroneves, and then Saavedra spun around into Briscoe.
And I think Briscoe was involved board with Castroneves.
3 into that hairpin. It's really one car. This isn't going to work, as he just gave him a little shove to the side. And
he pitted 3 times, one to put on sticker reds, and he came in 2 other times. Oh, and now we've got a spin out, but Mike Conway made 3 stops.
And we have power spinning at the hairpin. We had a 3-car wide situation, another car spinning.
I don't know if there's oil down or if it was just a spin by Munoz in sympathy for what was going on in front. But Power could have easily collected another car. A lot of traffic around you, right on board.
That turbo came in and the boost came on and cold tires, and it just snapped around on him and away he went. But now he's behind his teammate Castroneves.
Really what you see there that caused him to spin is that Newgarden starts a run on the outside of him there and makes him have to hold it very tight coming off the corner. He's got so much wheel lock into it. When he gets there and that turbo kicks in, just way too much wheel lock in there.
He had a bad weekend. It's come good, and Will Power trying to pick up another position inside Justin Wilson, and he's going to lose a position to Bourdais. Perhaps it's not done yet. And they make contact.
Bourdais in the wall. Conway runs out of fuel 3 feet from the line.
He makes it. He made it across the line, but lost many positions.
Drives it off the inside. Now you think Bourdais is going to have it, but then Power just basically pushes him right over into the wall over here and bang into the wall.
But now what interests me is
things might get a little bit loose for you. That's what happened to Will Power when I saw that 2 years ago in turn number 2. Ideally, I think you'd like to be low, in particular going into. Oh, we have a huge crash here on the track right now. It looks like Mikhail Aloshin. I'll have to look up who it is. I saw Aloshin earlier was running very close with Charlie Kimball and as well Sebastian Saavedra, but don't want to identify just yet who it is, as we have yet to identify. It looks like Marco Andretti may have been involved just by looking at the colors. Now, a few laps ago, I noticed, and indeed I do see Charlie Kimball in the car. He is moving.
He was involved in an ugly, ugly incident. On the low line, Mikhail Aloshin spins, and poor old Charlie had nowhere to go.
He didn't, and, you know, I have to give credit to Charlie here. I mean, totally innocent there, massive crash, and such a violent experience to go through. A lot of people have to understand. I mean, you feel like you've been through Armageddon.
Whoa, car spinning, car spinning. Number 4, Ryan Hunter-Reay lost control of the race car. He's sliding backwards into the infield across the grass pole. He didn't touch anything, but he was in that battle with Tony Kanaan, and all of a sudden that car stepped out. Caution comes to Auto Club Speedway for the first time tonight.
Went for the e-brake.
Wow.
Nice move.
He got the wall. Just got the wall. Wow. Well, I guess it's pretty slippery.
That's something you don't see every day.
The pace car has gone a lap down, guys.